The sound of the shattered trophy echoed across the gymnasium long before anyone realized what had really been broken that afternoon. It wasn't the championship prize lying in pieces across the polished wooden floor. It was years of hidden pain, silent promises, and a friendship that had quietly carried two wounded hearts through the hardest chapters of their lives. No one watching the final school competition could have guessed that the winner would walk away with something far more valuable than a medal. Before we begin, if you believe kindness can change lives, forgiveness can heal broken hearts, and everyone deserves a second chance, please like this video, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, share this story with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Graham Mercer had never cared much about competitions. At 18, he preferred repairing bicycles in his grandfather's small garage rather than chasing trophies that gathered dust on shelves. Quiet, dependable, and endlessly patient, Graham was the kind of young man classmates overlooked until they needed someone to help them without expecting anything in return. His closest friend was Maren Ellison, whose bright smile often convinced everyone she had a perfect life. They had grown up on the same street, attended the same schools, and spent countless afternoons building treehouses, racing bicycles, and dreaming about futures that seemed simple when they were children. As graduation approached, the school announced an academic challenge with a generous scholarship funded by a local business foundation. Winning meant more than recognition. It meant college tuition, financial security, and a fresh beginning for someone who desperately needed one. The afternoon before the competition, Maren stayed over at Graham's house because her own home had become unbearably tense. Her father had recently lost his job, bills were piling higher every week, and arguments filled the house from sunrise until everyone finally fell asleep exhausted. Graham's grandmother welcomed Maren with homemade soup and warm bread, treating her like another grandchild rather than a guest. While helping organize old books in the family study, Maren quietly admitted something Graham had never expected. She leaned closer and whispered that if he won the scholarship bet everyone at school was talking about, she would finally trust him with the biggest secret she had been carrying for years. Those simple words weren't flirtatious or playful. They carried the weight of fear, desperation, and hope. Graham nodded without asking questions because real friendship sometimes begins by respecting silence. The next morning arrived bright and clear. Sunlight poured through the classroom windows as students gathered for the final competition. Teachers reminded everyone that integrity mattered more than victory, but pressure filled the room anyway. Many participants viewed the scholarship as their only chance to attend university. The written examination lasted hours. Graham answered carefully while others rushed through pages. Across the room, Maren struggled to concentrate. Her hands trembled slightly each time she turned another sheet. Graham noticed but couldn't do anything except hope she found the strength to continue. During the lunch break, rumors spread that someone had somehow obtained copies of several examination questions before the contest. Suspicion spread quickly through the school hallways. Every high-scoring student became the subject of whispered accusations. Graham ignored the gossip, but he saw how pale Maren became whenever classmates mentioned cheating. The final stage required teams to solve practical engineering problems in front of judges. Graham's calm thinking impressed everyone. When another contestant accidentally knocked over a carefully built model, Graham abandoned his own progress long enough to help rebuild it. The audience applauded, while several competitors complained he had wasted valuable time. Despite losing precious minutes, Graham still finished with one of the highest scores. When results were announced that afternoon beneath the bright summer sky, Graham had officially won the scholarship. The crowd celebrated, cameras flashed, teachers congratulated him, and classmates gathered around. Yet Graham's attention immediately searched for Maren. Instead of smiling, she quietly walked away toward the nearly empty sports field. Graham followed. Standing beneath the shade of an old oak tree, Maren finally revealed the secret she had promised to share. Several weeks earlier, someone had anonymously offered to sell her copies of the competition questions. She had refused immediately, but afterward discovered the same envelope hidden inside her school locker. Terrified that someone would believe she intended to cheat, she secretly destroyed every page instead of reporting it. Unfortunately, another student had seen her holding the papers without knowing the full story. Since then, rumors had spread beyond her control. She had remained silent because she feared no one would believe her. Winning the scholarship herself had become less important than proving that honesty still mattered. Graham listened without interruption. Instead of criticizing her silence, he encouraged her to tell the principal everything while evidence could still be found. Together they walked back toward the administration building in broad daylight. The principal listened carefully. Security footage from several hallways was reviewed. Teachers interviewed students again. Eventually investigators discovered that another contestant had secretly placed copied questions into multiple lockers hoping innocent students would appear guilty if the cheating scheme was discovered. The truth finally emerged. Marin had never cheated. She had actually prevented the stolen questions from reaching anyone else. The student responsible admitted everything. The school community felt ashamed for believing rumors so quickly. At the award ceremony held later that week, the principal publicly apologized to Marin before the entire school. He spoke about the danger of judging people before knowing the truth and praised Graham for standing beside his friend when it would have been easier to walk away. News of the incident spread throughout the town. The foundation sponsoring the scholarship was deeply moved. Instead of awarding only one scholarship, they announced an additional scholarship recognizing exceptional integrity and courage. Marin received it. Neither friend had expected that outcome. College suddenly became possible for both of them. Life, however, still wasn't easy. Marin's family continued facing financial struggles. Graham spent weekends repairing neighbors' bicycles for free whenever families couldn't afford repairs. Inspired by his kindness, customers who could pay began leaving extra money in a donation jar instead of taking discounts. Within months, the small garage transformed into a community workshop where teenagers learned practical skills while helping repair donated bicycles for children whose families couldn't afford them. Marin volunteered every Saturday. She organized community events, collected books for local libraries, and helped younger students prepare for academic competitions without charging anything. The friendship that had survived misunderstanding now inspired countless others. Years passed. The little garage became a non-profit training center. Former students returned as volunteers. Children who once received repaired bicycles eventually became mentors themselves. During the center's anniversary celebration, Graham looked across the cheerful crowd gathered beneath colorful banners fluttering in the afternoon breeze. Families laughed together. Children raced safely across the open field on bicycles restored by caring hands. Elderly neighbors smiled proudly from folding chairs placed under the warm sunlight. Marin stood beside Graham holding a framed photograph from their graduation day. The broken trophy from years before had also been carefully repaired and displayed inside a glass case. A small plaque beneath it carried a simple message. Character is revealed not when life is easy, but when choosing honesty becomes difficult. Visitors often assumed the trophy represented athletic success. Only Graham and Marin understood its deeper meaning. It reminded them that broken things could become symbols of hope when repaired with patience, courage, and compassion. Before we reach the end of this journey, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a meaningful comment telling us whether you believe honesty always finds its reward, even when the truth takes time to come to light, or share a moment when someone believed in you during a difficult season of life. As the afternoon sun slowly painted the sky with gentle golden light, Graham realized the greatest prize he had ever received was never the scholarship or public recognition. It was knowing that choosing kindness over suspicion, patience over judgment, and loyalty over convenience had protected a friendship that would continue changing lives for many years. Marin learned that courage isn't the absence of fear but the decision to tell the truth despite it. Together they discovered that trust grows strongest after surviving life's hardest tests, and that one act of compassion can quietly ripple through an entire community, touching hearts that may never even know where the hope first began. If this story touched your heart, Please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Remember that every person you meet may be carrying a burden you cannot see, and sometimes the greatest victory isn't winning a competition at all, it is becoming the kind of person who helps someone else believe in tomorrow.